Angela Brown is the new weekend anchor and reporter here at ABC News 4. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with her one-on-one. Angela, it is so good to see you.
It's great to see you as well.
I appreciate this. I know we've seen each other around town a lot. And I first met you when, unfortunately, Tony the Peanut Man passed away.
Oh, that's right. I got a chance to talk to his family, his brother and his sister. Very welcoming people. They told me how they were trying to keep his legacy alive.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah, good bowl peanuts too. Well, complete the story for me.
I haven't had the peanuts yet.
Oh, really?
You said I need to try them.
Please.
Okay.
I think they have boiled, roasted, and Cajun.
That's what they tell me. I haven't tried any of those, but at some point I will.
That's good to hear. Well, complete the story for me. Kulu Cheese Jewel's owner charged with murder after wife found dead in the store.
You know what? His bond court hearing was today.
Right.
And it was very interesting. We sent our reporter, Josh Rogers, who did a really good job on that story. What struck me, looking at his story, was his family members were in court. And some of them, from what I recall, they were crying and they were very emotional. It seemed as though they were standing by their father. I mean, everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And what was also interesting, just based on Josh's reporting, was the lawyer, I believe, representing the family, mentioned maybe some mental health issues. So it's going to be fascinating how this whole story comes about. Now, I've only been here a short time, and I know that there was another story involving another family member that I'm not as aware of. I've heard about it. But for this one, it just seems so, there's just so many questions, and you wonder what happened, like what went wrong in that store and the relationship, and how a family can come back after something like that.
Charleston Airport opens EmanuelAME tribute and art exhibit today.
You know what's fascinating about that? Obviously, I wasn't here for that horrific event, but I was looking at the video, like the pictures of what's inside the airport, and it's breathtaking. Like the stained glass, and I can't remember everything. I just remember there was, I think there's like a portrait or something with the church with AME, and then there's also, I think they said white doves. But just the thought of people coming into the airport and being able to see that, that is remarkable. And I think that it will not only keep the memories alive of the victims, but I think it will remind people of where we stand in this country in terms of, you know, this was a crime motivated by race, and that, you know, we all still need to be very aware of what's happening in our communities.
From abcnews4.com, it says this quote, Angela joins ABC News 4 from WXMI, Fox 17 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where she contributed crime stories to West Michigan's Most Wanted, covered breaking news stories, and solo anchored the station's Saturday evening newscasts. Covering breaking news. When you think of the breaking news in Grand Rapids at your time as a reporter, what sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, our weather. See, the thing in Michigan, I remember, because I was there not long, but we would have stories dealing with the weather. I was there during the winter time. And I remember we had a 95 car pile up, and something like that. It was bumping up to 100 cars. And outside of Lansing, Michigan on 96. And you cover those type of things and so many cars, because you know the bad roads, the weather, you have spin outs. I don't think, fortunately, no one got killed, I believe, and I'm trying to remember back. But in terms of handling breaking news, it's you know, just go, go, go. You hear about one car crashing into the back of another one. You have to get in your car, and then you're on these slippery roads trying to report what's happening, but you have to tell people because the highway was shut down, and you know, other information.
This article went on to say this, quote, prior to WXMI, Angela worked at WJRT, ABC 12 in Flint, Michigan, WLWT-5, the NBC affiliate in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the #1 station, WTOL, Channel 11, the news leader.
They were when I was there. I don't know if they are now.
How did that happen? And you actually started as a producer and worked your way up to reporter and fill-in anchor. I'm curious, what did those free television stations teach you as a journalist?
You know, at each station you learn different things. And Toledo, I was a producer there. I had to produce the 6 o'clock newscast. That, as a journalist, you learn, producing, you have to always make sure your facts are right. The details matter. That's what you learn in producing. But you also have to be creative and find a way to tell these stories so people will watch them. Not only just the writing, but how you set up your show,
Right.
how you start your show, the video you use, talking to your video, and incorporating facts and the video to paint a picture. Let's see, what was that? Oh, Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
They did a lot of breaking news there, like running, what I call run and gun.
Right.
You know, there was a shooting on whatever street. You get in a live truck and you're gone all day, basically. And when something happens, you go there, and you have to, assemble all the information quickly, talk to police. You have to get, family members or relatives. At that particular station, we could not use officials on camera. We could only use officials for information. So every story had to have a very personalized touch. And you had to be real quick, and you had to think quickly, because if you didn't, you drown. So that's what I learned there. Flint was a different situation, because I was there during economic hard times and right on the onset of the Flint water crisis. So I learned a lot about the economy and how that really drives a community when it comes to every aspect: police, fire, even trash pickup, tax bases. So you learn a lot by going to different places. You learn a lot about different areas of the country, and also you pick up, like in Flint, the economy was a big story, so you learn more about the economy in places like that.
If you were to be in Flint right now, covering the water crisis, how would you tell that story?
You know what? The fact is, and I have one of my good friends, a few of my good friends still live in Flint, and from what I hear, from what they tell me, they still don't have water. I guess it's they have to maybe replace the pipes. Don't quote me, I'm not there in terms of,
Right.
For me, I can't believe at this point, if that's the case, that after all this time, people still don't have clean water. That it's not running. So I guess some people do, some people don't, but I don't think overall the community as a whole has clean water that's coming through their pipes. And that to me is unfortunate. I mean, we are America, we are a great country, and water is a basic right. So you would expect people to always have that. I mean, have it clean so you could drink it.
Exactly.
So that's how I feel. As an outsider looking in. But my friends there, they cover it, I guess, from many different angles, because they've covered that 1,000 times, and they see it differently. Some of them live in Flint, so, But for me, just looking at it, I love that community. I was there for a while, and those people were really great to me and to a lot of folks. And I would hope that situation resolves itself.
The article also says this, quote, "A native of Detroit, Michigan, Angela earned a BA in English from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and attended the Magid Anglo Institute in Cedar Rapids, Iowa." I had no clue you were a native of Detroit until we talked off the camera. When you look at Detroit now to when you were there, how would you describe the state of Detroit in your mind?
Well, I think they're right. I mean, Detroit definitely is coming back. I mean, I remember, and you and I were talking about this, when I grew up in Detroit, it was when Detroit was per capita the murder capital of the country. We were averaging like 1 3/4 a person killed a day. It was horrendous. And talk about food deserts. I hate that term.
Right.
It's when people don't have a grocery store, because I've grew up in Detroit and I've experienced stuff like that. So now the city is definitely moving forward. I mean, we have Whole Foods. There are more people moving to Detroit. The city looks better. The stadiums are back, and I think it's definitely on the road to recovery.
The University of Michigan. Who was Angela Brown as a student?
I could have been a better one. I enjoyed college. I mean, college to me, I would say college for me was about the experience more so than anything else. I mean, it was the first time I had left home, and I was able to live in Ann Arbor, which is a very an interesting city, very artsy, and you meet people. I met people from Jamaica. I had friends who were from overseas. I met people of different sexual orientations. I mean, I met people I had never met before in my life. So I learned a lot there culturally. I learned a lot academically about having to fight, because Michigan, you're competing with other people, and also, it's not so much where you go to school, but how much effort you put into that. I don't believe people get hung up on like Harvard or Yale. I don't believe in any of that. I think you go to a good school, no matter where it is, you work hard and you'll do great in life. I don't think the name matters.
So here we sit at WCIV-TV, Channel 4 here in Mount Pleasant. You have been a weekend anchor reporter here since late last year, and also you're a weekend news anchor for Fox 24 as well. Tell me this, why WCIV, why now?
To be honest, they offered me a job. You know, I'm going to say that it was God, and I'm going to say that might sound weird. I was in a situation at my last station, and actually I was at somewhere after at Fort Wayne, where things weren't working out.
Wow.
And someone helped me. And see, now I'm like emotional. Someone actually helped me, and that meant a lot to me. So I think this was kind of like a gift from God.
Yes.
It helped me too, and the people here are great. I mean, I'm learning a lot from my news director, Kathy Hobbs, who's helping me like open my mind. You know, helping me kind of get me back to, you know, you first start in journalism, you have that passion, that hunger, and how you see stories and asking certain questions and changing the way you think. So this is becoming a great experience for me. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, yes, and I know that you haven't been here that long.
No.
But what is that story that describes you right now, that you've been able to cover?
You know what? I don't know if there's one story that describes me. I can say the position does. The fact that I am, they're giving me the opportunity to look at stories and to pull information and to try to go in depth and to find FOIA requests and to dig for different information and investigate stories. I know that story is out there. I mean, I've liked some of the things we've covered, whether it's doing something on sex trafficking or doing something about a junkyard and people leaving behind information. But I feel that the better I get at this, the more I work, that I will find even better stories that will help people here. And that's really something I want to do.
Write the headline for me. Angela Brown will be in what?
Overseas reporting one day. Why not? I could see that happening. I would love to do that. I mean, I look at when I see what's happening in other parts of the country, I'm just intrigued by that, because the hardships they encounter, live through, are so different than ours. And I'm fascinated by people in other parts of the world. So maybe one day. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's believe God for that.
I know.
It'll happen.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, Angela, thank you.
Thanks so much.